July, huh? Well, let me tell you the history surrounded by 4th of July. It all began in 1765 in the 13 colonies, the colonials from the British Empire. At that time, they were called the American colonials. But soon after, the British Empire raised the taxes on goods. At 1765, the colonial proclaims no taxations without representation, or the Stamp Act. They had no representatives in the British Parliament, so they rejected the Parliament to tax them. 5 years later, huge protests gathered around in Boston, which lead up to an event called the Boston Massacre. Till December 16, 1773, a political and mercantile direct actions by the Sons of Liberty in Boston that target the British East India Company ships that sells teas to China, but also taxing the colonies who produces the tea. As the American patriots, they demonstrated by disguising as themselves as Native Americans, raided the ships, throwing shipments of teas out in the ocean, destroying any protection sent by the East India Company. That event, called the Boston Tea Party. But later from the event, Massachusetts Bay Colony began to self-government soon after other colonies rallied behind. In late 1774, a group of American patriots leaders set up their own government at the Continental Congress, which was a meeting of delegates from 12 of 13 British colonies that would become the United States of America. The meetings of the delegates, which usually conducts their coordinate attacks or resistance against Britain, and wrote a draft that will soon become the Declaration of Independence. On June 1776, Thomas Jefferson was chosen by the committee to write a draft that would help the colonies be free from Britain and become free states and independent from Britain rule. After Thomas Jefferson finished the final draft on the Declaration, he delivered it to Congress as they adopted it on July 4th and signed it on August 2nd, making it the official day of the Declaration of Independence. The first signer were John Hancock, then Thomas Jefferson, Josiah Bartley, Samuel Adams, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and other members of Congress. Well, after the signing, Congress sent it towards Britain, but once Britain received it, they all laughed at it and sent it back towards them. But
fireworks after the signing?
well, after adopting and signing the Declaration of Independence, the people celebrated with firing muskets into the air and taking down the statue of King George III and melting it to make more bullets to fight more.
And then what happened? Yeah, what happened?
The fireworks are out. Check it out. Well, you know what happened afterwards.